Start recording. Right, yes, who wants to recount last week's escapades?
I mean, I'll chip in what I remember.
Okay.
So we started the session off the cuff of the session before, which we were faced with an infernal mishmash of what appears to be many bodies in one that was looking at me and screaming hatred.
You know you're doing well if you're confronted with a monster made of lots of bits of body and it looks at you and goes, "Ah!" Not good for your self-esteem.
And so we kind of quickly grouped ourselves into what we were going to do and sort of started fighting the infernal mess. I believe Nipper threw some glitter, if I remember rightly, make it all sparkly so we had some advantage. If I actually went on for a little while, we came to realise after a little while that our melee attacks and ranged attacks were doing nothing, and it only seemed to be damaged by fire
and magic.
Any sort of magic. It was magic.
It didn't seem to like bludgeoning either.
Okay. I remember I missed a fireball, and then who finally finished it?
That was Mike.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was like the first boss that I had.
I literally had like one sliver of health left and managed to best it.
Yeah, you weren't doing so great.
No.
We then regrouped at the altar again, I believe. For which we were told that we had completed said task and would be rewarded with a day, one day. Then we headed back. Is that all that happened? That bit? I missed anything?
We found the bomb in the bag.
Oh yeah, we got the bag.
Oh, we got the bag of holding, yeah.
And the jam.
Bacon jam. Amongst other
Because
things.
bacon jam is a thing.
That's the weird cask of 15 different liquids, was it?
Alchemy, wasn't it? Like a jar of
The alchemy jug, yes.
So we found that, and then we started to head back. And we got to the cave where we were when we first came in, where you saw that red brand guy. And then two of the guys, I think, was it Puff and Nipper that went in there?
Yeah, Puff inexplicably charged straight in at the troglodytes. So Nipper rather unenthusiastically said, "Well, I better go and stop him dying."
While me, Lars, and Gaius chased a rock.
Yeah, you, Lars, and Gaius showed a remarkable lack of concern for your colleague.
We split the party until we heard some ruckus, which we headed back up to help. And I realised when Nipper was trying to confront the red brand who he recognised that he'd seen before, but the red brand didn't recognise him, that it seemed like we were in the day behind. So almost like a reloop of the day before. And that's about the much I can remember it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah,
So we headed back to town once we realised. Did we take the red brand with us?
Yeah, he got him with us. He's got my sword.
Is he in the bag?
Yeah, he was coming with you. He seemed really keen to help.
Oh yeah.
And this is what happens when I give you a magic bag. You just want to stuff people into it. Hey, look, guys, we've got a mobile prison! Yay!
Someone openly mentioned putting him in the bag.
I love the idea that you're just going to stuff all your prisoners in your bag of magical items. What could possibly go wrong?
It's only 2 feet by 4 feet. It's not that big.
It's a 4-foot cube.
Yeah, that's true.
And we got back to town. I think we said we'd go back to we couldn't see any fire or any remnants of fire, so we headed back towards the town hall, in which we peered inside to see what was going on, and as we thought, it had gone back to what seemed like the day before.
You haven't peered inside. You've sort of walked towards it, and it looks completely intact, as in it's not been burnt to the ground.
Okay.
So you were approaching it when you saw Sildar come out the front of the building and sort of walk around towards where you were. So we ended the session with him sort of raising his hand and sort of going, "Hi, I thought you'd gone to bed."
Yeah, then we confronted him, sort of.
Yeah, so then you've spent the last 2 weeks deciding on what to do about him. And
as we stood with him, midst of what we're going to carry on doing.
I'm pretty sure Nipper's very certain of what he wants to do.
Paul, quick question.
Yes.
We leveled. Normally don't get all your buffs until your long rest following.
Yeah. You've got all of that.
Wicked. It's handy to know in case I accidentally kill him or something. I don't know.
You're planning for the eventuality where you accidentally kill the man you've just made town master.
Well, it's a backup plan, right?
Apparently so. I mean, most people would try not to get into the situation where you'd require such a backup plan, but, you guys are crazy mavericks.
I mean, if you've got a backup plan, though, it's handy. It kind of expands around what you can do.
That's true. I can't argue with that. So, you are confronted by Sildar and a very noticeably not burnt to the ground town hall. What do you want to do? He's raised his arms at you and gone, "I thought you were in bed."
It's only occurred to me, isn't Sildar going to go to the toilet? Isn't that his excuse for leaving the town hall?
Well, yeah, he's just walked out the front. I mean...
Are there no toilets in the town hall?
Well, there's toilets at the inn, or, if we want to be not too delicate about it, we're all men, There's bushes. There's, I imagine, he's probably heading towards the inn if he's a polite soul, but you just don't know. So I'm guessing by the round silence that you're all just staring at him, dumbfounded.
Well, surely, we left him guarding the prisoner with the other. So where are you going? Would be a good start, I think.
He says, "I'm going for a pee."
What about the prisoner?
Harbin and Myrna are in there. He's locked away, he's bound, he's gagged. I'm just going for a... Sorry, what did he say?
Harbin's literally rubbish. Why have you left him guarding it?
Harbin is a good man, and he's armed, and as I said, Yarno is bound and gagged and locked in a room. What do you expect him to do? Yeah, you see, that told you.
Gentlemen, should we be on off?
I think so.
Yeah. Yes. Safe having in front of him.
On the plus side, that didn't sound like nefarious or anything. So you're basically turning to each other and going, "Gentlemen, we best be going."
Yeah.
All right, and
enjoy your pee, Sildar. We'll catch up with you later.
He looks a bit bemused and not a little concerned about this strange turn of events. But he, after that moment passes, he looks at you, nods, and strides off in the direction of the Stonehill Tavern.
So he's not in earshot anymore.
You can stand around waiting for him to get out of earshot if you want. I mean, it might take a few minutes, so that wouldn't be awkward or anything.
It's never stopped us talking in front of someone before.
Yeah. Well, I'm merely thinking that obviously, if he goes off to the pub and we leave the town hall, whatever happened before could happen again, and we'd be none the wiser. So surely we should be.
We're not actually going home.
No.
It's all a ruse.
Yeah,
So just for clarity, you guys have kind of encountered him, let's say, here. Okay. So he's heading up towards the Stonehill Inn, and the front door is here.
Should we make our way around to the front? And do we want to try and do the fixed route? I'm going to try it.
I'm looking forward to you trying to explain this to Mirna and Holden.
Whilst they're trying to get in the front, I'd like to go around to the side and have a look in through the window.
Do you mean the window into the main hall bit, or the window into Glassstaff's little cell?
The latter.
The latter. Okay, cool. So you're going to go around. So this little box bit on the right hand side is the cell.
Yeah.
Okay,
I remember opened or something in the not future past.
You what? Sorry, you remember the window being open? No, it wasn't open, but the metal bars were sort of melted and poking out.
That's it. Yeah. I remember there being saying suspect.
Okay.
I don't remember when.
Okay, so you're going to wander around the outside doing that. Is anyone going with him, or is it just him?
Yeah, I'm going to go around with him.
Okay, so that's Gaius and Nipper, what a team, are going to subtly walk around the edge and peer through a window. I worry that that's not going to be the last time we say something like that in this general game. Okay, cool. So you guys can do that, and so the rest of the party are just going to walk in the front door, is that right?
Yeah, I have to.
Alright. Bear with a moment then.
Shit, who's got the other sending stone?
Me.
Oh, so fine. That fine? Yes, fine.
It's right next to each other.
So I've realised that I haven't actually set up this. Haven't set this this up properly. I'm also choking to death, so don't mind me. Lovely. Okay. Cool.
You've gone around the side?
So that would be Nipper and Gaius.
Okay.
Bear with me one sec. What? Why? I just have it, sorry. Yeah, no, I know. Okay, just checking. Okay, so let me just get rid of Nipper and Gaius. Sorry about this, gents. Right, you should in a second see the town hall. So, the three of you should be able to see your tokens and whatnot. Can you guys see the town hall?
I can see the town hall.
Yes, I can see the town hall and tokens.
I can see town hall and some tokens at the top, yeah. But I can also see the bottom room, apparently.
You can see the bottom room?
Yeah.
No, that's alright. Can you sort of see the greyed outline of it?
No, I can see this corner.
Yeah. Don't worry about it too much, it doesn't really matter.
I have no tokens.
You can't see any tokens. I'll tell you what, let me just start this again and drag you, because we used this ages ago, so I'll probably just drag in some fresh tokens for you. Oh, wait. probably helps if I use the right screen. I'm doing so very well today. Admin! There's Rook. There's Lars. And there's Puff.
There's 2 other people.
Just empty the coke into a bottle would be easier.
Okay. What's occurring?
Just before we go too far into the actual building, I'm just going to turn to Puff and just say, do you have minor illusion?
I mean, would you know necessarily that that's a thing?
I have it.
Oh, what, you've got it as a spell?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, it just might come in handy later.
Sure.
Shout you. If you can hear me. At the point.
Okay, so what are you going to do? Gaius and Nipper, you're making your way around the side. Now I'll sort of deal with that to you separately, okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm just going to let these guys do what they want to do for a minute. So you guys step through the front door of the town hall. It is as you remember it when you... Not as you last left it, because as you last left it, it was a bit on fire. So, whereas now it is as you remember it the night that you dragged Glassstaff, Jarno Albrecht, out of the manor house and put him to semi-trial, and then, if you remember, you ousted Harbin for being useless and elected, and I think the quote was, the only straight-up guy around, Sildar, to be town master. And so you see Myrna Drendar sat on one of the chairs in the corner of the room, cradling a crossbow that you remember giving her. She's cradling that quite menacingly. And Harbin is sort of stood behind the sort of counter, pacing back and forth, looking rather anxious and not a little knackered and bemused. What do you want to do, fellas?
I want to go in.
Can we walk in like the witches from Hocus Pocus? The 3 of us in steps.
I don't know what that is.
It's pretty goofy.
Okay. I mean...
My plan is to go and check on the prison or used.
Okay, so
you're
going to you're going to walk forward like so.
Yeah.
Okay, feel free to move your own tokens, by the way.
Okay.
So as you start to get in line with Myrna, she notices you come in, and she sort of looks at you and goes, "I thought you all went to bed. What's going on?"
We did, but we're restless. We wanted to make sure the prisoner was safe and safely secured. As we've had trouble with him slipping away before.
And she looks at you and says, "Well, he's not gone anywhere. We'd have noticed. I've been checking on him every, 20 minutes, half an hour, and he's still there, bound, gagged, tied. So he's fine."
I mean, would it be possible? Would it take offence if I looked in the door?
She looks at you a bit confused, but sort of.
We're here now. Anyway.
We're here now. I might as well have a look. Yeah, she looks at you slightly confused, and she looks over to Harbin, who looks completely bemused and just sort of shakes his head in a bemused way, but then sort of shrugs and sort of go as if to indicate whatever, sure. So we'll let you walk over there. Bear with, I just need to now contact Colin and Co. Helps if I'd actually put their token on board.
Want me and Puff with you or not?
Yeah, please. You can come as well.
Ooh.
There is a plan if it will work. I just don't want to. I can't say too much. They're right there anyway.
All right. If you guys position yourself next to there, I'll let you know what's what. Bear with. So I've just sent you Gaius and Nipper. I've just sent you information on what's what. Okay, what you see as you look through the window. Just after you've taken a moment to take in the room, the other party, you're approaching the door, guys, so the door is closed. Are you opening the door?
No, just is there like a gap in the door or anything?
No, there's no window or gap or anything, it's just a solid door.
Okay. Okay, it doesn't really matter if we get to the door looking. My plan is still going to remain the same. I'm gonna cast Minor Illusion, which is a cantrip, to make the sound of a loud, shrieking, screaming woman outside the front of the building, around, like just outside the door.
I mean, I think you have to be able to see where you're doing it.
It just says create a sound or image of an object not within range that lasts for the duration. Range from a whisper to a scream, can be your voice, someone else's voice, a line from your ear. Sweet sounds, image of objects such as a chair, not sure. It doesn't say anything about needing to see where you're doing it.
Okay, so fair enough. Okay, you can make it come from the vague direction of the doorway, so that's fine. So you're going to make a loud shriek.
Yeah, like a scream of a woman that may not sound familiar to the village.
Okay, hang on.
What I mean before in the long run is to draw the attention of obviously these two.
Yeah. No, I get you. Minor illusion, that's all. Within range. Okay, so the range is only 30 foot, mate.
Okay.
So you can get 6 squares.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't have the other guys by the door and you could sort of go to the door and be like, "What's that I hear?"
I can do it if you want to stay by the prison cell.
Okay, so just for record, Gaius and Nipper, basically, you guys are doing this as they're sort of faffing around at the door and Puff is talking about moving out to the front, timings-wise, okay? So I'll do those rolls for you that you've asked to do.
Planned it really plan. What do you want to do now?
You could do one just there,
from the
outside, but
like outside.
Yeah. About the back, yeah.
Okay, so Nipper and Gaius, you're having a look around and there's nothing unusual about the windows. It seems to be fastened securely, the bars are intact, and there's nothing around. And you're having a look around, but you can't really see anything that indicates any obvious like tracks around or anything. You kind of remember last time that you were looking around, it was a bit confusing and there was a lot of tracks and trails around the place. So there's nothing that stands out.
Well, shit.
How do we know he's not like invisible in there? Like if there's no tracks.
Oh! I know! I've got a thing! I've got a thing! I can solve this puzzle!
How do you do this thing?
I would like to use
Jug of
my That's probably what I'm getting. I'm just trying to decide what's got the best quantity. Mayo, beer, or vinegar.
What? Actually,
You want to what?
Beer. I'm going to start pouring my alchemy jug. So I'm going to open the beer plug on the alchemy jug and start pouring beer in through the window.
Okay. So, yeah. So, you guys hear a sort of "Boop!" and then the sort of a faint sound of liquid pouring from the other side of the door.
Apparently it will take me does 2 gallons a minute, which I'm not sure what that is in real numbers.
Alright. You're doing that.
2 gallons, 10 litres.
So, the rest of the party don't really have any idea what the hell's going on. They've just heard a pop of a cork, presumably, and a sort of vague sound of liquid coming from the other side of the door. So it's now Lars, Rook, and Puff are on. You're up. What are you guys doing?
Well, me and Lars have kind of whispered this literally. I think we're going to make the scream come from around this area, just outside, or even. Oh, it's not that neat.
So we're talking about sort of in this area here.
Yeah. That's
Okay. So what sound do you make, Ryan? Please do tell. If you feel like acting it out.
It's just like a scream.
I mean, you can describe it for me if you prefer.
Kind of like a panicked, startled, obviously female scream that would attract attention.
Okay.
Something was really wrong.
Just out of interest, now I want you to answer me honestly. Did you tell Gaius and Nipper about this plan before you went in the building?
Gaius and Puff.
No, Gaius and Nipper. The ones that are currently outside. Okay, so Gaius and Nipper, while you're snooping around and Nipper is currently pouring beer into the window, you hear a very loud, very distressed, apparently female scream echoing very loudly from just around the corner of the cell that you're currently pouring beer. So you're pouring beer into a window here, and you hear a scream come from this vague direction, so very near to you.
This is your first ping, by the way.
Sorry?
Your first ping, sorry, which...
So you're pouring in here.
Because our tokens are up over here.
Yeah, I know, I just chucked those out the way so that I could, like, whisper you and stuff. So let me put you where you would be. Sorry, I didn't know you'd be able to see. There you go.
That's confusing me, right, okay.
Sorry, mate.
Paul.
Yeah, I know there isn't actually a window there, but if you remember, this map is a little bit impromptu, so there's not actually stuff on that table, there's not actually a thing there.
And the scream came from here.
Yeah, so, I suppose it should be the other way around there. Nipper, can you roll concentration for me?
Concentration?
I guess I'll take, like, I don't know, constitution or dexterity I'd allow. Nice. In fact, you do so well in holding your nerve, you actually somehow manage to pour liquid out quicker. And you sort of lean backwards and nudge Gaius with your spare foot, and just sort of nudge him and go, "What the hell was that?"
Right. So this.
So for the rest of you, for Lars, Rook, and Puff, at the emanation of the scream, both Harbin and Myrna's eyes latch to the front door of the building. Myrna jumps to her feet, crossbow cocked, and looks panickedly from the door to the cell to the front door to the cell to the front door and looks completely unsure what to do. Harbin, on the other hand, basically just dissolves into like a nervous breakdown. He's like, ah! What's going down in Funky Town?
Paul.
I
was thinking, could I use my message cantrip?
Yeah.
To speak to Nipper, or is it Gaius? Nipper outside?
Yeah. Whichever one you want. Do you know what? They're so close to each other, you can talk to them both together.
Wicked. I'll just ask them what's occurring, and also to ignore the screen.
Okay, so Nipper and Gaius, you can hear Puff asking you that question in your head, and you can reply.
Sorry, what's the question?
What's happening? And ignore the screen.
God! I'm pouring beer into the cell!
That bit hasn't been revealed, but he is pouring beer.
Sorry, what hasn't been revealed? I want to
why he's pouring beer into the cell.
I just suspect you to be invisible, so I'm just pouring beer in there to hope that maybe a puddle or something will fall.
Bearing in mind, Nipper, that they don't know what you've seen.
Alright.
They haven't looked in the room yet, so they don't know what you've seen. So they've asked, "What are you doing?" or "What's going on?" To you, the other side.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone. Yeah.
Or at least we think he is. We can't see anyone, but he is a mage. Because there's no tracks outside, is there? The bars are intact. There's no tracks.
Yeah.
It's like he's vanished, or they've let him out.
Or he's really small. Fuck. He's Sildar.
To the pub.
Has he just out? I just don't anymore.
What's happening?
Paul.
What's happening, Paul? What?
Okay, hold on a second, guys. Someone is asking me a question. Whoever said that?
I was just going to say, as we are pouring these gallons of beer into the cell, are there any like footprints or marks or anything like that?
Okay, bear with me. I will check for you. I'm just going to do some rolling. Okay, so you, as you're peering in through the window, you see the beer is slowly pooling on the floor. It's probably covered about half of the room in a sort of circular motion from where you are up to about here. And you can't see anything disturbing the surface of the liquid as of yet. FYI, for the rest of you, you now see Sildar run back into the front of the building, going, "I heard a scream, what's going on?" He has his sword drawn.
There was something outside. You should go investigate.
He looks slightly confused, but then turns and goes, "Okay, come, follow me then." And then he runs out of the front of the building with his sword drawn.
I'm going to go with him. And,
Okay.
And I am going to... No, Paul.
Yeah.
It clearly came from this direction, so I'm going to lead him that way.
So he gets out the front, and as you're following up, he's sort of looking back and forth trying to work out. And are you going to point in that direction? So you're going to point him this way?
Yeah, I'm trying to move myself that way.
Oh, yeah. There you go. You should be able to move yourself now. Alright, yeah, cool. Alright. Excuse me. Oh, I'm allergic to hijinks. This isn't going to go well for me.
I'm going to tell Harbin and... Is it Myrna?
Myrna. Myrna.
Command them and say, "You two with me, we're going to barricade the front door. We're under attack." And I'll try and convince them to come with me in.
Okay, so I need you to roll a particular skill, like for either intimidation or bluff or persuade, something like that? I'm not sure bluff is actually a skill, but alright. So Harbin will obviously at this stage just do whatever anyone says to him. So he goes, oh, yes, go, good idea. And he goes over to the barrels and bits at the side here and starts trying to drag a very, very small barrel towards the front of the building. Myrna looks somewhat less convinced, but does reluctantly move towards the door. It doesn't look like she's moving to barricade anything, but does have her crossbow cocked and aimed at the door.
Perfect. Okay. So they're all looking at the front door and not the cell.
Yes.
Okay, can I enter the room and shut the door behind me?
Well, it depends. How do you plan to unlock the door?
Did they not give us the keys?
No.
we said we were going to go through, surely they gave us the keys.
No, you went towards it, but you never asked them for the keys. So you can ask them for the keys.
That would give away the fact that I want to go inside on my own.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was like a sort of bolt on this side. In that case, I'll take a few steps back and just cast sleep on these two, Myrna and your boy, Harbin.
Can you cast sleep on both of them that close to get that far apart?
It's a 20, a point 20. They have to be within 20 foot of a point of my choosing.
Oh, so if you do it in the middle, yeah, fair enough.
They're 30 feet apart.
Okay.
And I think I have to roll how much sleeping happens.
Points. You have to roll a certain number and it's the amount of hit points.
Can I make that roll?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Fair dues. I mean, technically they don't give you a... because I don't think anyone actually expects in the game for you to attack poor old Harbin Wester and Myrna Drendar. They've got fairly low HP. So they're both zonked out asleep, but they will only stay asleep for 1 single minute.
Would that be enough to actually find the key?
Okay. You're going to pick the lock. You're not going to just try and rifle their pockets for a key.
Or unless,
I mean,
I'll shout to Puff actually, grab the key.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Whose pockets are you rifling through first?
Yeah.
Myrna.
Okay. So you're doing that. So while they're enacting this interesting approach, Gaius and Nipper, what are you doing?
Pouring my beer.
Okay, so I think we can say that by this point you have filled the floor of that room with beer.
Is there anything obvious kind of interfering with the spread of the beer?
Okay, you can have a little bit of a look. You're going to need to spend a little bit of time focusing on the beer and like keeping an eye. Gaius, while he's doing that, what do you want to do?
Well, I was going to say, would it be better, would Nipper get a better vantage if he were to climb on my shoulders or something to look in the window?
I mean, that's probably a good point, because at the moment I imagine him sort of holding this 15-kilogram jug above his head and sort of pouring it over. Yeah, I mean, if you want to give him a piggyback or like whatever, then yes. Yeah, we'll have you doing that. You're sort of like boosting him. This is great. Okay, so you're doing that. Puff, you've rifled through Myrna's pockets and you can't find any key. You do find 3 gold pieces, should you wish to take them.
Nah.
Put them in the other guy's pocket.
Nah, we'll leave those. I'll just go to the harbour.
Okay, so you're going to spend a bit of time. So, Lars, you're outside with Sildar. You're looking around. He's looking around quite urgently, trying to see if there's any noise coming from anywhere, and he's looking a bit confused. He's like, they're not here. They must be somewhere else. And then he starts to move back towards the other side of the building, this way.
Can I see the map of... It's gonna screw things up.
You want to see Phandalin?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I can move you to Phandalin for a second. So the front is here, so the front door. So you're currently about here, and Nipper and Gaius are over here.
Okay. How obvious are they from the road? The gap there.
I mean, they'd be pretty obvious. They're a gnome sat on top of a human. Is it an elf or a human's shoulders pouring beer through a window? They look like the world's seediest peeping toms.
Can I try and lead him on here?
I mean, you can try and persuade him, but you're going to have to try pretty hard.
Okay,
So how would you propose trying to get him to run off over that way?
Wait, some trees there, weren't there?
Mm-hmm.
I sort of point in the general direction of the trees in that area and say, I think I can see something. Still dark, right?
Yeah, it's getting sort of towards light, but yeah. Okay, I need you to roll persuasion. Okay. He looks very unsure, but he goes, okay, maybe, okay, and then he sort of starts moving sort of tentatively in that direction, but not very fast, while constantly looking back over his shoulder towards the townhouse, the townhouse. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. So Puff, you rummage through Harbin's pockets, and you don't find a key there either. However, you do find a pouch of 10 gold pieces, and also a ring with a ruby on it.
Nah, I'll leave that, and I'll just shout that the keys aren't here. You have to try and pick the lock.
Maybe Sildar had them, but he's currently moving away from the townhouse.
I'll also say in 40 seconds you've got to pretend to be asleep and wake up.
Okay, so the Keystone cops outside have finished pouring alcohol into the window as some sort of like anti-invisibility thing. They're now peering through the window. You've got Nipper looking down from on Gaius' shoulders, and Gaius peering out from between Nipper's legs, looking at the beer that they've poured onto the floor in there. You don't see anything disturbing the alcohol.
Right. So we've got an empty cell. Pardon me. With no discernible escape tracks or sort of moved bars or anything like that.
That's right. And if Myrna's to be believed, no one's come out of the main door either. And sometime in the last 20 minutes, she went and checked, and he was in there bound and gagged.
And the beer's not disturbed on the floor?
Nope.
Is it on the ceiling? Has it gone full line or Richie?
You look at the ceiling and you don't see anyone. I hate to break it to you, Mike, but we can all hear you.
Yeah, I know. I can't whisper. Like I can't figure it out. I'm too.
All right, Mike. You're on a laptop now, right?
I am.
What you can do, I tell you what, I might even be able to set up.
It's /W, but you don't use the character names use the player name, so you'd have to put like Sam.
Although you can.
Either it tells me it can't find the character name, or it tells me it's an unrecognised command. I spent about 10 minutes trying to do it at the start when I wasn't saying anything. Furiously trying to concentrate.
Yeah, you can put backslash for some reason.
Yeah. Then I did the forward slash because Colin told me like what I was doing, and then you have to pull the brackets in and everything, don't you?
No, you just put /W and then start typing the player name.
Because I thought you had to put. Right, hang on.
Put prompts as soon as I
put W and then start typing M, it'll bring up the names and it's got Michael, and then I can just be like, that's come to you.
Yeah, bingo!
Yay, here we go. It's all
Holy shit.
Brackets. So annoying. Alright, awesome.
Okay, so yeah, you look in the window and you look at the ceiling in desperation. You don't see anything there. I'm sorry, as much as I'd love to be able to say, you look up and you just see Glassstaff just holding onto the ceiling, going, "Damn it!" It doesn't pan out that way, I'm afraid.
Is there anything in the cell, like object-wise?
There is just what you remember being there in the first place: 2 empty tables, a chair, and a barrel in the corner.
It's a fucking barrel, isn't it?
Well, there, okay. I mean, the barrel is sealed.
Barrelmancy.
He could fit in the barrel, I guess.
Can I fit through the bars?
No.
Damn it!
Because if you could fit through the bars, he could have got through the bars to get out, and it would have been a really shitty window to put someone in locked up in.
But I'm really small.
You're not that small.
Nothing for nothing.
Well, I tell you what, Nipper. If you take the Gaius approach and cut bits off yourself, you can post yourself piecemeal through the window. Maybe if you get guys to headbutt the bars enough times. Just as a highlight, just remember, when you're looking in this room, these tables are empty, despite what the picture says, and that thing in the corner that looks like a trapdoor isn't there. That doesn't exist.
Guys, I'm going to go round and go to the cell and start ripping up. Maybe you stay here and keep an eye out?
Yeah, that's cool.
You've got the sending stone, right?
I have got the sending stone.
Excellent.
And a torch.
Excellent. Don't start burning things.
Wow, it just let's all take a moment that we've come to the point where Nipper is having to tell someone else, don't start burning shit down. It's come to that. You've got Nipper telling you to calm down.
I don't see what I'm going to do.
Alright, so you're going to head back to the front of the building, Nipper.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Let me put
So how does the sending stones work? Is that just whispering to one another, or is that...
Yeah, well you can do it out loud if you want, or you can whisper it, it's up to you.
Okay, cool. No, that's cool.
Okay, so, Rook, you're still by the door. You've been reliably informed that the 2 sleeping figures that you've knocked out to steal the key don't in fact have the key.
Yeah, I said I was going to lockpick it.
Okay, is there a skill for that? Probably. It'll be like stealth or something, I guess.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
I'll take stealth or sleight of hand, whichever you prefer.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so while they're doing that, you look down at the lock, and I say that in very, air quotes from your professional opinion. You sort of look at that, you jam your dagger into the gap between the door and the lintel, jimmy it a little bit, and then stealthily spin round and kick the door with the back of your leg, and it swings open as if it was unlocked. Congrats, the door's open, you can go in.
I'll go in.
So, in front of you, step into the room, and you are treated to a splish splash of beer on the floor. in front of you is an empty room, and you can see Gaius peering through the little barred window at the other side of the room. Other than that, there's bugger all in there. Apart from there's a barrel to your right and 2 empty tables and a little chair.
So can I talk to Ryan through the bar?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Ryan, can you see anything in the room? Is there like anything on the ceiling? You know.
Can I roll perception to see what I can see from a better angle in the room?
Okay, don't worry. You're just looking around, and you see, like I said, you see a very large. The whole floor is wet with a sort of slightly sticky liquid. The room itself seems undisturbed, other than the beer. There's nothing under the tables that you can see at a quick glance, and there's nothing really out of place that you can see.
There appears to be nothing in no one. It looks untouched, except for the brewery on the floor.
Right.
Okay, so Nipper, as you come to the front of the building, you see Lars sort of trying to persuade Sildar to move away from the building, but Sildar keeps glancing back. He then sees you come round the building, and he sort of latches onto you and sort of walks towards you going, "What on earth is going on? Where have you been? What was that scream?"
I'm just shout busy and just run in.
Alright, cool. So as you enter the building, you see in front of you... So, Puff, are you asleep?
I'm pretending to be asleep as well.
Okay, great. Okay, good. So, as you enter the building, you see 3 prone figures lying on the ground snoring. You see Myrna asleep, lying on top of her still cocked crossbow. You see Harbin slumped over the front of a tiny barrel. And you see Puff lying down in a surprisingly comfortable position for one that might have just fallen asleep suddenly, as opposed to have just placed themselves down gently and comfortably. And you hear some vague, muffled sort of shouting conversation coming from the back room.
No. I'm basically going to carry on running to the door over there, but on the way, I'm going to give Puff a little slap around the head. To wake him up.
Okay. You do that. So are you going to go over the counter or round the counter?
Over.
Acrobatics check! Nice. So tell me how you succeed in going over the counter.
Okay, just no bother, just flip over.
Are you going to Starsky and Hutch like bonnet slide?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Cool. Alright, you do that, and then you slide and you run to the door. You got taller for some reason. You run to the door, and as you get to the door, you see the back of Rook looking in the room, looking a bit puzzled, and you see Gaius peering through the window that you erstwhile beer piddled through. So Puff, you've been pretending to be asleep, and then you've heard the unmistakable shuffling gait of a very familiar gnome, and you get cuffed round the back of the ear as he goes past.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just like he's done to me. I'll go to Myrna and your boy Harbin, and just both give them a shake and tell them to wake up.
Okay, who are you doing first?
Sorcery is afoot.
Who are you slapping awake first?
Myrna.
Okay.
He's slapping the one with the cock.
Okay, so you're what? Just basically cuffing around the side of the face, like old-fashioned cartoon style.
It says you can use an action to shake or slap someone awake, I think.
Okay, so she wakes up with a jolt, just as Lars and Sildar enter the building. There is a loud twang. Lars, can you roll a dexterity save for me?
Anna, use my inspiration to get advantage on this.
Yes. I mean, technically, inspirations don't carry over sessions, but oh. Interesting. What damage does a crossbow do?
1d6 plus dex. Let me just double check that.
Let's have a look.
How it's got that, because my screen says 12 or 15 that I've rolled, but either way I failed.
Hang on.
1d6 plus 3 but
1d8. I like crossbows, 1d8. Wow.
Yeah, 1d8. Nice. Okay. You take 4 damage as a crossbow bolt hits you in the thigh. It does slow you down a little, and Sildar looks positively baffled. He turns towards Myrna, holding his sword, and he looks, takes in this scene of Harbin slumped over a barrel to his right, and you holding a prone Myrna and shaking her as a crossbow bolt whangs into the guy running beside him. He is confused.
Oh.
He is.
Did you say it was piercing damage?
Yes.
Okay, so that's just one then.
Right, why?
My heavy armor master.
Oh, bloody hell, man.
Why do you think I'm doing it?
For those times when you get shot by your friends.
Did you get... Oh, you got it at level 4. Okay, fine. You take 1 hit point of damage.
Cool.
Good. So did someone else want me as well?
Yeah, I just didn't know if there's any... I know obviously we're not in initiative as such, but is there any order or such, or can we just... Can we go?
Well, it's sort of all happening at sort of various points. I can't sort of make you all go at the same time, so I'm kind of this is sort of happening at the same time that you were looking around that room, and then Nipper's just sort of gone to the room. So they've been doing that. So Sildar has run in, and he's turned towards the scene of Puff shaking awake Myrna, and he's a bit confused. So... Nipper, you are looking through. You've just arrived at the door and you're looking through into the empty cell, and you also hear this commotion going off and a twang and an ouch and a Sildar going, "What the hell's going on here?" What are you doing?
I'm driven. Right, that barrel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna smash with my mace.
Are you going to run up to it and hit it with your mace?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Roll your attack, sir.
Sorry.
Roll an attack.
Just hit it.
Okay, so you leap at it and you bring your mace down and you smash into it. There is a somewhat of a meaty resistance as you smash the barrel, and it cracks and you see a red substance start to seep out of the bottom.
Ooh, is it wine?
No, it's very much more viscous than that. So Gaius, you're looking in the window and you see Nipper run in and just absolutely obliterate this barrel, and you hear a sort of meaty thwack. What are you doing? Are you staying at the window?
Yeah, I think my work here is done, guys. I think I should come in with you guys, really.
So you're going to go round to the front of the building?
Yeah, I'm going to come round to the front and come in with Lars and Sildar.
Alright, cool. So you're making your way around. Rook, what are you doing as Nipper has blasted past you and just smashed up this barrel?
Would I have heard all the ruckus out in the front there?
You're certainly hearing some noise going on. You know there is a, shall we say, a kerfuffle going on.
Yeah. I guess I'll cast Disguise Self and blast that.
Oh god, okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm just going to move your token out the way for a minute then.
Oh, if I have to do anything with that, or it's just
Hang on.
oh.
Okay, so before you all stands, well, Nipper, you hear a sort of noise behind you, and if you glance over your shoulder, you see Glassstaff stood before you.
What the fuck? I'm really puzzled. But you're in the barrel!
Do I have a chance to speak?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Can I just say detain me?
What?
Nipper's just glancing between the mushy barrel.
Glass staff, they're going to come looking. You're going to need to show that you had some reason of coming in here. They don't want to see glass staff dead, so detain me and take me out there.
Can I do a double take and look at the barrel just to make sure I've not lost my mind?
Yeah, you look between the barrel and the thing, you see more red liquid seeping out of the bottom of the barrel, but then you glance back at Glassstaff, and he stood there looking at you. He stood in a slightly odd pose, a very noticeably un-Glassstaffy pose. You know, a bit like, you know, a rogue, a slightly emo rogue might stand, which is a bit weird in his frame, so there's something a bit off about him, but he stood there going, "Please tie me up," which isn't weird at all. Okay, so while that's going down, Puff, you're currently knelt on the floor shaking a woman who was asleep, and then a man holding a sword that you know as Sildar Hallwinter has strode in and gone, "What the hell's going on?"
I'll do a proper 1950s man, like sort of slap. Get a grip, woman. They scared them off. They're here to protect us.
And she's like, "What the hell's going on? We were barricading the door, and then I was asleep, and now you're slapping me. What the hell is going on?" She starts to get up. Harbin is still asleep.
Yeah, I'll go wake him up as well, in the same sort of shaky manner.
He's like, Sildar! And then faints.
I'll leave.
So Lars, as you're pulling a crossbow bolt out of your thigh that's slightly indented in your thigh is more of a minor annoyance, you look down at a slight dint in your armour and tut. Gaius comes up behind you. So Gaius, you look in and you see Lars pulling a crossbow bolt out of his leg, Sildar holding a sword shouting at everyone, Mina getting herself up off the floor, and Puff slapping Harbin, who then falls down onto the ground unconscious. Welcome to the party.
Come on, you silly bastards. Nipper's up to something in the cell.
You said what, sorry? Come on, you silly bastards.
Nipper's up to something in the cell. I've just seen him sneak a beer barrel before
You know what I love is that Rook is going to great pains to try and make it seem like Nipper isn't up to something in the cell, and then you've just wandered in and gone, "Hey everyone, Nipper's fucking around in the cell."
I'm not privy to that information.
That's true. No, I'm not criticising you. That's very good role playing. So sorry?
I was going to say, if them two were to usher them out of the cell, you know, him restraining him or something, then this could all be, you know, smooth as houses or whatnot.
So as soon as you say Nipper's mucking around in the cell, Sildar latches on, looks straight at the cell and goes, "The cell! Glass! Yarno!" And then he sort of starts running towards the counter. So
I'd run after him as well.
Okay, cool. What I need you to do then is I need you to do an athletics check.
What's that? That one? Oh, no, wait, I'll roll advantage on that. I'll roll it again.
Okay, so Sildar is obviously a little bit out of breath from, you know, being slightly old and having been traipsing around all of this and being a bit startled by everything. So you easily outpace him, and you get. Are you running round the counter, or are you running at the counter?
I'll run round them.
Okay, so Sildar is running at the counter, so he's now going to do He's going to try and leap over it, a la Nipper, which should be great. Acrobatics. Oh dear. So he runs at it and obviously forgets quite how tall it is. So he sort of gets to it and realises that it's a lot higher than he thought. So rather than sort of deftly leaping over it, he ends up having to sort of like hoik his leg over it and sort of shuffle himself over it and jump down over it, which means that you manage to get to the door much before him. So you get to the door. So as you're hearing all of this kerfuffle, Nipper, sort of you hear shouting and people running towards the room. You have probably about 10 seconds between Glassstaff / Rook saying "tie me up" or "restrain me," and when Lars gets to the door. So in those 10 seconds, what are you doing?
I'm jumping on that Glassstaff and I'm hitting to the floor.
Okay, cool. So you're like wrestling with him. When
Yeah.
So Lars, you get to the door and you see Nipper wrestling with Glassstaff.
I've got my sword out, right?
If you want to have your sword out, you've got your sword out. We're talking about restraining people and you having your sword out. This sounds a bit weird, but yeah.
I was going to say, I'm not wrestling in an erotic way.
I was under the impression Nipper only operated in erotic ways.
Track.
Okay.
Can I take a look over and I point my sword at Glassstaff. I'm like, what the hell's going on in here?
Hang on.
The barrel, I think there's someone in there.
Okay.
I might have killed him.
So, so bearing in mind that disguise self doesn't stand up to physical, like thing. So, like when Nipper is like wrestling on you, his like arm is passing through part of your illusion and stuff like that. So, Lars, you can see quite quickly that it's not Glassstaff.
And can I say Nipper's not in there? The Rook's not in there as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I say to Nipper, take him out here, and I'll step inside the room.
So you stepped into the room. So Sildar is sort of rapidly approaching behind you. So what are you doing? So currently, Nipper is essentially sat on top of Rook.
Telling him to get him out of the room.
What?
Okay. So Gaius and Puff, what are you doing while these two are charging across the room?
Well, my laptop handily turned off in the middle of all of that, so I'm trying to reboot it. So, and then before all of that, I seemed to be locked out of the main town hall. I couldn't drag.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's a bit weird the way that works.
Yeah, so having approached in and told everyone, Nipper's hijinks and whatnot, I would be making my own way down there, I assume.
Okay, so you're going to follow them, that's fine.
Yeah.
Are you like sprinting or are you sort of gently ambling?
No, I'm going to take my time and play it cool. There's been enough bonnet surfing.
Okay, cool. Puff, what are you doing now that you've slapped everyone within arm's reach?
I'll just tell Murder that you and me will watch the front door. Keep a lookout.
She looks a bit bewildered, but she picks up her crossbow and notches another bolt and aims it at the door. She also looks and goes, maybe we should close the door.
Yeah, okay. I've just remembered, last time, didn't we say that there looked like a fire had come in from this direction?
From which direction?
Through the window on the right?
That was what you suspected from the evidence, yes.
Fuck, okay. I just saw the window.
Yeah. No one's really thought too much about that window.
So when we're all inside?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you going to bar the front door then?
No, I think I'll keep the door open, actually, so we can see anyone coming in.
Okay. Well, Myrna is moving towards the door.
I'll just tell him my intentions. I'll say that. leave it open and just point your crossbow at it.
She then comes back and sort of stands on the corner point of the doorway opposite you with a crossbow aimed at the door. So Gaius, what are you doing?
I'm just sort of chilling around, really.
Right, okay. So, Lars, you've got into the room and said, drag him out there.
Did Colin, right? Did you get my whispers?
I do. But it doesn't mean it makes any sense to me, though.
Just drag him out. I will check the barrel.
Lars, do you even know about the barrel?
Colin just mentioned it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm a bit torn between the fact that I've probably killed some random person in a barrel, and I've apparently got glass staff.
I mean, you're pretty sure, having jumped on him, that that's not Glassstaff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, you're pretty sure it is. Roll perception.
I mean, there was only one other person in the room when you went in.
I didn't pay much attention. I was hell bent on smashing that barrel.
Okay, yeah, you're pretty sure it's not Glassstaff, it's someone pretending to be Glassstaff, and I reckon you can put two and two together and go, oh, it's Rook.
Very.
He has a very familiar musk.
I'm going to go along with it and drag him out towards the door. And out.
So, are you going to shove him ahead of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll stumble as it push hard.
Okay. Right. Okay, good. And what are you doing, Lars?
I'm gonna shout. Brooke, what have they done to you? Slam the door shut behind me.
Okay.
Hasn't come out yet.
Right. I'm just typing a message to you about what you find.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to...
So on your first initial inspection, Lars, that's what you see.
Okay, is there any easy way for me to open the barrel?
You can start sort of pulling the bits of smashed barrel off of that, off of what you found.
I can't take the lid off or anything easy like that.
No, because it's been utterly smashed pretty thoroughly by a big mace. So you will be able to, you've just got to sort of take a minute just to sort of pull some of the larger bits off to see what it is that's in it.
Okay.
So bear with. So, Rook and Nipper, Rook, you're sort of shoved out of the room, and you come face to face with Sildar, who is going to do a perception check. What does he have to do? An intelligence perception. Oh, an intelligence investigation. Against your spell DC. Okay, yeah. Did just out of interest, do you see that check? No, you don't. Okay. So, what's your spell DC? Not that I really need to know if I'm honest. Rook. Rook.
Went to the loo, didn't he?
Oh, did he? I'll wait for a second then before I'll wait until he's back because he's quite important. Okay, hang on. Let me message you, Lars.
I have returned.
So, Rook, are you back?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are shoved out of the doorway, and you are come face to face with Sildar, who looks at you and goes, "Yano, what's been going on? What have you done?"
In the voice of Yano. I have no idea. I was sleeping in there, and then there was people entered, and there's still people in there, and I've been shoved out here for no good reason.
He looks at you and goes, "What happened to your gag and your bindings?" He looks at Nipper and goes, "What have you done? Why have you released him?"
He's escaped. Taking his things off. And it's spilled a load of beer all over the floor. Not sure why.
As if to illustrate, there's beer seeping out from underneath the door. Do you say anything, Rook, to that?
Rook. Or Yana. Yes, I've taken some things off to relax and be more comfortable as I slept on the hard floor.
Sildar looks between the two of you, and his expression grows dark, and he seems to become more fierce. He goes, "I never thought I'd see the day that Jarno Albrecht would betray the Lord's Alliance, but it seems that we cannot keep you in one place. I really did try, old friend, to give you the chance, but if you will not come quietly and you will not submit, I may have to enact frontier justice on you. I ask you one more time, as a true friend, or at least if there's anything left of that, will you submit, or will I have to kill you?" You might want to respond, Rook. Okay, so while Rook has a think about that, while that's going on, Puff, you're stood at the door. Are you still covering the door, or are you doing anything else?
I might just pop my head out and see if I can see anything.
Okay, cool. You stare out the front and you don't see anything going on. You're quite surprised, actually, because you would have thought that blood-curdling scream earlier might have roused a few people, but apparently everyone was really tired. Gaius, what are you doing?
So all I've seen is sort of Nipper bring out and wrestle Blaster. So I'm with the Frontier Justice School of Thought.
Okay.
So
and
I'm in conversation with the man with Quentin Howard, whose name escapes me.
Sildar.
Sildar, that's the one. So I'm saying, Sildar, are you going to give this man another chance?
I think we should. I think, he's making mistakes, but he'll be alright.
Okay. So, while you guys are having that conversation, Lars, you've done your investigation.
Did you get my message, Paul? Whispers on the
Oh, yeah, no, there isn't.
Can I have a quick look around the room? Just to...
Yes, roll investigation for me. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for evidence of someone.
Okay. So you're having a look round and you're not really noticing anything. Like the beer appears to be seeping away into somewhere. But yeah, apart from that, you can't really, there's nothing obvious going down. It's just an empty room. So you're doing that while this is all kicking off. The door's closed.
Can I cut what I found in the barrel? It's something I can carry easily enough.
It's about the size of a deer.
Okay, so
I mean, you could if you want.
Okay, no, I'm going to leave it. I didn't realise it was quite that big.
Okay, so while it's about the size of a barrel.
Yeah.
So what you're going to spend your time like looking around that room, having a look, and then doing that investigation a bit further. Okay, so Sildar has just directly asked you, Rook, if you're going to comply. Are you going to say anything?
Yeah, I was going to say, no more violence. I'll come quietly.
Okay, so Gaius, I need you to roll persuasion, and Nipper, I need you to roll persuasion. And I'll let you have advantage because Rook is... Actually, no, what I need you to do is Rook, I need you to roll persuasion, and you get an advantage.
Okay.
Oh. Oh dear. Hang on, guys. My co-writer has just come to check in on what's going on, and I really need to update her with what on earth is going on here. Okay, bear with me 2 seconds.
Just say nonsense and move on.
So, Rook has pretended to be glassed because they Nipper ran in and smashed the barrel. Right, there was a venison in there, so he thinks he's killed Glassstaff in the barrel. So Rook's then taken on to be Glassstaff, and he went out and has Sildar rolled really low, and so believes he's Glassstaff. And so now I've said that Sildar is so fed up with it all that he's threatening to kill Glassstaff if he doesn't comply. So I've now got Nipper saying, no, you shouldn't, and Gaius is saying that he should, because Gaius doesn't know that it's Rook either. And Gaius has just rolled the highest you can possibly roll in his persuasion against that. So he's just about to persuade Sildar to try and kill Glassstaff, who's actually Ryan. Oh, and they knocked these two out unconscious, and then she fell asleep on top of her crossbow, and then Sildar and Lars ran in just as Puff was slapping her awake, and so the crossbow went off and shot Lars a little bit. They decided quite cleverly, he thought, oh, he might be... they went and looked through the window, and Nipper thought, oh, he might be invisible. So he used the jug that we gave them that could bring him to pour like 3 gallons of beer on the floor to see if they could see anything invisible walking on it, which I thought was quite clever. So yeah, I've just explained what's been going on. Cheers for waiting, guys. It took quite a while because it's quite mental. It turns out that Gaius is very, very, very persuasive. Certainly much more persuasive than Rook/Glassstaff is over there. So Sildar seems to be convinced. His brow glows dark. His gaze goes even darker, and he goes, No, I'm sorry, old friend. It's gone too far. You can't be trusted anymore. Come, bring him over here. And he gestures over to the centre of the room.
Basically... No. He's alright.
So, Gaius...
Yep.
You and Sildar seem to be pretty united on the whole Glassstaff's going to die. So what Sildar's basically saying is bend him over the counter and he's going to cut his head off.
Right.
So are you going to help him do that, being as you've just persuaded him to kill him?
Hang on a moment. Right, so I've had a very dramatic change of heart. Maybe we should put him back in his cell and wait until morning. Maybe he's not worth the trouble.
There's a lot of very sudden tonal shifts in this game.
Sildar, you're a good man. You don't want blood on your hands.
You've just persuaded him to kill him.
Yeah, but it was
okay, Mike, I need you to roll persuade again to try and talk him down again. And you're at a disadvantage because you just crit to persuade him.
So do I have to do anything with my roll if I'm at disadvantage, or do I just still...
You roll it twice and take the lowest.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's a shame. No, Sildar is very, very, very determined to do this. So he's going to lean forward and grab Iano and drag him to the counter.
I'm going to headbutt Sildar.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh god! I mean, you're not actually within melee range. Are you going to step forward and nut him?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. That's a thing that's happening.
I'm sorry.
Can you roll an attack for me?
Oh. Under the guise of dramatic timing, can I burst the door open at this point?
You're going to have to pull it open, but yes.
Okay, can I almost rip it off its hinges, like, slam it into the wall next to me?
Yep.
And
However,
just
you're not.
shout.
Yeah.
Shout really, really loudly, like.
Yes. So, are you going to do that? Like, what's the intent? Just go stop in a commanding voice.
Yes. Because
Now, would you be trying to intimidate or persuade? Hello?
Sorry?
Again?
Are you going to be trying to like intimidate or persuade?
It's more just a general shout.
Okay. Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
And you open the door and you shout. Now. Okay, yeah, you do that just at the point the Nipper is deciding to nut Sildar. So the shout is enough to sort of make everyone pause for a moment and maybe reassess their life decisions.
I'm going to turn my mood into a hug.
You're going to step forward and hug Sildar.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's clutching Glassstaff / Rook's like robes at the front, and now you've sort of given him a waist-high, chest-high hug.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So what I need you to do then is to roll strength, Nipper.
Okay.
Okay, so Sildar is trying to pull himself away from you, but your vice-like hug of justice is rooting him to the spot. So he's going, let go. There's no more that we can do for him. He's a liability. He's going to have to be killed. Even your friend says so as he points dramatically towards Gaius.
That is not Glassstaff. Rook, drop the disguise.
Okay, I slowly release the disguise as I draw my crossbow up.
Yeah, I think he's just.
Turn it back
He's just been persuaded. I think he's still trying to keep himself out of trouble more than.
I'm going to release my embrace.
So what's going on now? Sorry, guys.
I'm releasing the disguise. As I do, I'm pulling my crossbow up.
Oh Lord. So wait, hang on.
Following
Right.
orders.
So you're going to drop your disguise and you're going to raise your crossbow and aim it at who?
Sildar.
You're going to aim it at Sildar, right? Okay. Cool. That's fine. Can I just ask why? Sorry?
He was going to kill me.
Yeah, but not you. He was going to kill Glassstaff.
Making friends and influence people. Okay, so you're now. So Nipper is like, Care Bear hugging Sildar. Gaius has been whispering in his ear that he should kill Glassstaff. Then he's saying don't. Lars has shouted stop, and then Glassstaff has magically turned into Rook, who is now pointing a crossbow between Sildar's eyes. I'm going to go with Sildar is confused.
Our plan has worked.
I'd like to point out, no one knows where Glassstaff is still.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Glassstaff not in that room.
Oh.
Sildar.
But then what did Nipper smush?
You don't want to know, Nipper. It wasn't a person.
What was it?
So can I
You what? Who is that?
Can I search Sildar or try and forcefully search Sildar for a key? Because if he has the key to the door, that might.
Okay. You can forcefully pat him down. Nipper, can you roll a strength check again for me?
I'm releasing him.
Oh, you're releasing him. Well, in which case, Rook, no, you can't forcefully search him.
Okay.
You can try if you want, but you might get punched in the face. So Sildar is now going to back off from all of you.
Sildar.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know. You were just impersonating him. I don't know. Last I saw, he was here. I went for a piss. I came back, and you were all here opening up his cell.
You, Mina, and Harbin were guarding him. Is not in this room.
So you say. All I know is I've come back from going for a piss. He was absolutely fine when I left. Now you mysteriously come back and he's gone.
Paul?
Come and have a look.
Paul?
Yes.
Do I get an attack of opportunity on Sildar?
If you want to attack Sildar, Mike, then yes, you can attack Sildar.
Can I? So I just want to give him a cosh round the back of the head, really, maybe stun him a bit. Just so we can sort of overpower him and tie him up, etc. Get some questions answered while he's restrained. So what would I roll for that? Would that be like a strength check or?
You just roll a normal attack.
Oh, okay.
Can I just say, where's Puff in all of this?
He's still by the door. Actually, that's a good point. Puff, what are you while this has all been going on, you were originally just looking out the front. What are you doing now?
Yeah, can I hear the majority of this? Or?
Oh, you can hear all of it. It is not quiet.
Yeah, I'll try and distract Myrna as much as possible.
You're trying to distract Myrna?
As in, like, people looking out the front.
Oh, so do you want to sort of... She'll happily go and sort of guard the front of the building. She'll step outside and sort of keep watch. Okay, so you're doing. So that only takes a moment. This has been going on for a fair bit. What else are you doing, or are you just watching the front as well, or are you going to try and get involved in all of this nonsense?
No, I'll go with her. We'll do rounds around the building. I think.
Oh, okay, so she'll look at you and go, "You go left, I'll go right. We'll cover the building. I'll meet you the other side."
I'd rather stay with her. I'm still in suspicious.
Fair enough. So you're going to sort of do laps around the building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buddy system.
Yeah, okay, so you guys are sort of walking the circuits of the building. That's absolutely fine. So Mike, you rolled a 1. Okay, so you go to hit Sildar. Actually, you're at an advantage. Roll it again.
Okay.
And you get your proficiency bonus as well.
What's the proficiency on? Because obviously I'm just hitting him with my hands, not with it.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, fair enough. You don't get your proficiency. That's fine. If you want to argue, you get. Oh wow, that's even worse. Okay, so you go to hit him, but he sees you out the corner of his eye, and he ducks, and then he steps backwards even further and draws his sword, going, "What are you doing?"
Wait. Guys, was you rolling damage or attack?
No, just an attack roll. Because I'm attacking him with my bare hands rather than anything else. I just rolled a d20.
Okay.
So yeah, basically, Sildar is the only person guarding this cell who had a key, because the other two guys didn't have a key, and yet he's not here, so they couldn't have let him out. So it's only you. And now.
But how could I have let him out when they were here?
Well, Well, we don't know because we weren't here. They, maybe they're in on it too.
You think he looks at you and then laughs a little bit and goes, "This is madness, friend. You think Threndendar's widow is in on releasing his murderer?"
Maybe they're in the bear.
Yeah.
He just looks at you, completely bewildered, and goes, "You're all mad. You're utterly mad."
But you're not denying it.
And you're backing away.
Oh, he's backing away because you just tried to hit him.
Yeah, but you said he drew his sword.
Yeah, because you tried to hit him, and all this mad shit's been going on. Just take a minute, guys. Let's just replay what's gone on from Sildar's perspective, right? He's gone out for a piss, and you guys have all been kitted up, suited and booted, ready for war. Probably covered in all sorts of blood and nonsense from the fights that you've been doing, right? And then he goes, like, you accost him, and he's a bit like, okay, that's weird. But then he goes for a piss. He's coming back from his piss, and he hears a blood-curdling scream. He then is very confused about what's going on. He then runs back into the building because he sees Nipper running, who just goes busy and runs past him. He then narrowly misses getting shot by a crossbow bolt and sees one of your party slapping Mirna around the face while she's prone on the ground. He then encounters one of you pretending to be his old friend, who he has one of you convinced him that he should kill one of his oldest friends, and then immediately says, "No, you shouldn't." One of you then gives him in a bear hug, while his old friend actually drops a disguise and turns out to be one of the other ones. And then one of you tries to hit him.
Paul, you're forgetting, though, that we are not getting empathy. We can't see this from his perspective.
I mean, touche.
We've got the emotional intelligence of a peanut.
Okay, well, he's still backing away with his sword drawn, going, "This is madness. I haven't released Glassdog. Is he not in there?"
This would be a good Lars.
There is no one else in this room.
What's in the barrel?
Come and have a look. The barrel has venison in it.
You what?
Venison.
Venison in a barrel.
That would be Harbin Wester, the ex-town master.
You clearly have no class in it, but that's how everybody keeps venison, okay?
I mean, the key word that he's left out is cured venison.
Yeah, no, you can say cured. I'm good.
I mean, in response to your offer to let him come and look in the room, he's a bit apprehensive about walking anywhere near any of you, let alone going into a room with you all. So, Puff, you have done your lap of the building. You look back in through the door, and you see Sildar with his sword drawn, backing away from the rest of the party, who are sort of, I presume, moving towards him.
Yeah,
There's a lot of shouting going on.
Yeah, I don't want Myrna to think bad of us if she sees our gang mucking around with her. So.
Okay, she looks in and sees what's going on, and so she starts to walk into the building. So what do you want to do about that?
I'll try and convince her that we should be looking outside and let them deal with whatever argument they're having.
Okay, can you roll persuasion for me then? Okay. She is not at all convinced because she's obviously seeing Sildar go. Gaius?
Yeah?
Where are you going?
I was just trying to hit him off.
Okay. Well, the problem is he's backing away just as fast as you move forward, so he's now backing away this way. Okay, so Mirna's moving her way into the building.
Right.
So obviously Gaius is sort of pursuing Sildar back as Sildar backs away from him. Understandably a bit concerned because he's just tried to cuff him upside the head. Nipper, Rook and Lars, what are you going to do while this is happening?
I haven't got a clue. Where's Glassstaff then?
Sorry, are you asking oh, sorry, Matt. There you go. Let me move in. So who are you asking, Nipper? Are you asking me? Or are you asking Sildar?
I'm asking in the room, I think, at this point.
Okay, at that point, Sildar just seems to reach his absolute boiling point, and he just goes, ah, and then throws his sword to the ground, and just goes, I don't know where Glassstaff is. I haven't done anything with him. You guys have just come in and run roughshod over everything. For all I know, you've taken him, released him, killed him. I don't know. Just do something about this. I give up. And he just puts his hands out and goes, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Let's have a proper search of this room. He's gotten out of it somehow. We need to find out how. Or
is Puff visible?
Is Puff visible? Yeah.
Puff, can you like test for magic in there or whatever?
I can't. It's not one of my things.
I'm not that sort of sorcerer, guys.
You are rubbish.
Myrna is going to sort of look apprehensive and go, Sildar, what's going on? And Sildar is just like, I don't know, Myrna, I don't know. These guys seem to be accusing me of, I don't know, releasing Yarno. And she says, but the door hasn't opened the whole time. They both seem very earnest. Mm-hmm.
Just a quick question. My oath spells.
You what? Sorry.
I have oath spells, right? So they are always prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I looking? So oath spell. I have two first level, two second level, etc. Do I basically get them when I get the slot? Because I now have second level slots. So do I automatically just have those? I'm trying to find those. You gain access to these spells at the level specified in the description. Because I may. Yes I do. Okay. Let me just check the description of the spell. I didn't think I had this prepared, but it's one of my own spells that do.
Okay.
Let me just find the have a useful spell. 15 foot radius is centered on a point of your choice within range. Okay. Where's Myrna at this point? I can't see her token.
In the confusion, she seems to have disappeared.
Died. On the start.
Yeah, no, seriously, you don't know where she's gone.
What?
You didn't do very well.
Hang on, so she was talking and then she disappeared.
Well, you've been sort of doing a lot of bits and pieces, so she did shout, but in the interim, you guys have been a bit distracted and she's disappeared.
Not actually in the building.
Not as far as you can see.
Hi.
Hang on, is this Myrna we're talking about?
Yeah.
Myrna
Drendar. No, Ryan, we can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
Colin, you're just going to make him say random stuff now, aren't you?
So was Myrna in front of us saying that Sildar had been here the whole time? Or no, the door hadn't opened?
She was kind of, she was here saying that, but then in the sort of kerfuffle since.
I've had a brainwave.
Okay, this should be good.
I want to attack with my maiden door.
Well, that'll ease the tension.
Meanwhile,
I mean, sure. What are you trying to do? Just smash it to bits?
No, just give it, because my new theory is that glass staff is the door.
Okay. Are you just going to smash all the inanimate objects until one of them's glass staff?
And Myrna was having an affair with the door.
Okay, cool. You can go and hit the door with your mace. You done smash it up good. It's in bits. There is no... Yeah, you hit it really well. It's not a particularly solid door, if I'm honest.
It's definitely not glass staff.
No.
Right, okay. Been living that then. Good.
Yes.
can I cast Zone of Truth, please?
Yes. What does that do?
Here you go.
Hmm. Okay, so where are you going to place that?
How big does it say it's 15 feet?
Yeah, 15-foot radius.
I'm basically just going to put it on top of Sildar.
Okay. Cool. So he needs to do a charisma saving throw, I guess, then. Okay. Yeah, cool. So you've done that. I don't suppose he actually notices.
I need to. I need to know what he succeeded or failed on that charisma saving throw.
Do you need to know that?
It's the last end of the last paragraph says, "You know whether each creature succeeds or fails."
Oh, okay. So he's failed.
Okay. Sildar, do you know where glass stuff is?
No.
At this point, I've spotted that Miller's gone.
Roll perception. Because you're kind of focused on this. Actually, no, it'd be your passive perception, wouldn't it? So no, you aren't aware.
Because my plan was going to be to cast it on the two of them, but
okay, well you can actively look, and you are now aware that she's not.
Yeah,
You are?
I think as soon as I saw her disappear or notice she'd gone, I think I'd probably chase.
Yeah. I think we need to go after Mirna.
So, what were we going to say to Sildar on our way out?
Just leave him. Sorry, maybe.
How long does the Circle of Truth last?
An hour. Bearing in mind, guys, you might through it. Wait, sorry. Closed it.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hey. Hello.
Say banana.
We're gonna until Ryan says banana. We all have to refuse to acknowledge he exists.
What?
Hey, I can't hear Ryan. Can you?
I guess he's gone again.
Yeah.
If only we could hear Ryan say banana. I think he might think that we can't hear. We could hear you, Ryan. We just want you to say banana.
Oh, banana.
Yay! You're back!
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, so that lasts 10 minutes, apparently.
So
it does have a 60-foot radius. Sorry, no, sorry, it has a 15-foot radius. My radius.
I was gonna say, but that's a 15-foot radius. So yeah, I guess that would be 15 feet either way in a circle around it. So that's a pretty big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of hit Gaius, but.
So, are we?
I don't know how long.
To be fair, it says a creature, so I think that means not player characters, right?
Okay.
So yeah, okay. So you've dropped the truth bomb on Sildar, and you've asked him.
No.
That's correct.
Oh, did you help him escape? Ask him that as well. Because he doesn't know where he is. Doesn't mean he doesn't. Yeah.
Not really. No.
Did you going to escape?
Maybe.
Did you allow him to escape?
No.
Did you?
He's sort of backing away from you now, going, I don't know why you keep asking me these questions. I haven't helped him escape. I haven't done anything. I don't know where he is. I've told you.
Have you acted so that he would not be prevented from escaping?
He looks at you confused, and I go, I don't even know what you just said.
Have you taken an action that would allow him to escape? Even
No,
if you don't
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Still suspicious.
Yeah,
He's literally under a truth spell and you're still suspicious. Sorry, what was that, Lars?
He said maybe to one of them.
He did say maybe. He said he knew that he maybe knew he was going to escape.
Well, that doesn't mean that he definitely did it. He just might have suspected it. He knows Glassstaff, doesn't he?
Do you know where he would go?
I don't know for sure.
Where do you think he would go?
He would probably go to the Tresenda Manor, I guess.
Oh, because we're going back there again, aren't we? I think we need to go after him.
Mike, what are you doing? I always worry when Gaius randomly jumps next to a character when we're doing something.
Paul, could I be chasing after Myrna as soon as?
Oh right, yeah. Sorry, yeah. You step out the front door once you realise that Myrna's gone, but you look out the front of the building and you don't see her, so you don't know where you would go immediately.
Is there a path either way? Is it left and right out of here, or is it just?
So in front of you is the town. The town building opens out into the sort of main area of Phandalin. So the whole of Phandalin is available to you.
Could I just go once around the building?
Yeah, you can be doing that while this is cracking on. So Nipper and Guy and Rook, you're still both currently stood by the door to the little cell room. While the really effective questioning has been going down, what are you guys doing? Oh, that bodes well.
I don't know how long my mic wasn't working.
Quite a long time.
Yeah, I think so.
Can I go into the room and just have a good feel of all the walls?
Yeah, you can have a good feel of all the walls. Can you roll investigation for me then?
What is it with you and vertical surfaces today?
There's something in that room.
So you're having a feel around the walls. You don't really find anything for certain, but you kind of feel like the walls feel a little bit weird in certain places, like around this sort of corner. Like there's a few dints or scratches on the wall, but nothing that you could put your finger on if you take my meaning.
Can I push them?
Well, you kind of push and prod and grab and scratch, but nothing really happens. So, Rook, what are you doing while Nipper is rubbing the walls? Oh, I think his mic's gone again.
Is it working now?
Oh, yep, there we go.
I'm going to go in with Nipper and have a scout around.
Okay, so while you guys are doing that, I will, just send you something. Okay, so I've just sent you to Rook and Nipper what's happened with you. So Lars and Gaius, what are you doing?
Where is Lars?
Lars is right next to the counter, just here.
Oh, okay. One of the things is over him, that's why I couldn't see him.
I'm gonna go to the doorway because I'm pretty certain. Who's moving?
Sorry. So Gaius, what are you doing?
So Lars, have you gone to go look for Myrna? Is that where you're?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, I might. If you're going with Puff, because Puff's gone that way as well, hasn't he?
Puff's out.
Puff is doing a round of the building.
Right.
But you can't really see where he is, so he's probably coming around the other side of the building at the moment. So you just look out and there's no one there.
Right. So I'm going to go and investigate the cell. But on my way past Sildar, I'm going to let him know I'm very disappointed in him.
Is that like when an adult is disappointed in their child?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we put him in charge for a day. He's managed to lose the person who's supposed to be guarding the prisoner with him as well. Generally,
I mean, in his defence, he is working under some very difficult circumstances here.
I'm a results-based man. I don't want to hear excuses. So just let him know that we expect better next time we're at town. And then I'm going to make my way into the cell.
Okay, so as you enter the cell, you are confronted with, you're confronted with Rook and Nipper. They're over on by the wall just here, and there's sort of a portion of the wall and floor that seems to have sort of clicked open. So there's sort of like a crack of a doorway that sort of envelops part of the wall and floor that they're sort of investigating.
Yeah. So obviously I'll make my way over there as well.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, if you've found a secret doorway.
What do we see?
If you push it open, you sort of get a dank, cold waft of air, musty air, waft up to you, and there's sort of some sort of a roughly hewn steps sort of lead downwards and forwards.
Oh, I bet it leads back to fucking present our manor, doesn't it?
Yeah. Last time I must know these tunnels like the back of his hand. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Back to his weird sex dungeon again.
I guess we take a walk.
Does any one of us want to go and try and, before we head off, go and tell Lars and Puff what we're doing?
Don't you have a sending stone?
Yeah, I do, but Puff does.
No, we won't send us those here reverse. Before we start going in, is there any evidence of recent passage?
You can spend a moment just having a look. It's very dusty in there, but it does look like the dust has been disturbed on the roughly hewn steps.
Oh, fuck's sake. Someone should go to everyone else.
Yeah. Do you want me to run out and go and sort of tell everyone?
We're already doing a lap, aren't we? Lars, are you busy or are you chasing?
No, I just came out.
So I'd say Puff is just about getting round to the front of the building now, as Gaius legs it to the front of the building, saying,
Alright guys, we'll go back to that fucking Tresdar Manor again.
Hey?
Hey, that's what I was about to say. We should go this way.
No, but there's a secret passage down here.
Oh.
Yeah,
What? In Harvey West's house?
Yeah. So you
There's
want
a warren of this town.
Yeah.
Can I drag Harbin with me?
Oh.
yeah, if you want to drag Harbin with you, sure.
What's he doing with a bloody trapdoor in his prison that he let us put glass staff in? I'm gonna ask him that.
What, Harbin?
Yeah, this is Harbin's house, isn't it?
I mean, he is very much unconscious at the moment. It's not his house, it's the townmaster's house.
He's got
It's the sort of the townhouse, it's not where he lives. The town hall, that's the word I've been losing all second.
How convenient.
Place him to live, I suppose, for at least a year. How long's a tenure as a townmaster?
He's probably been townmaster for a long time.
Can we drag him into the circle of truth, of trust?
Sure.
Yeah, that shouldn't have expired yet.
Nope.
I'll use my awakening spell, which is just my fist.
He passed out.
Okay, you can spend a bit of time waking up. If he sort of comes to going, oh, what happened? Oh, it all went black. Oh, and then horrible things. Oh.
Did you know?
FYI, he's failed. He's failed the charisma check. You know he's failed.
Yeah. Did you know that there was a trapdoor in the back room?
There's a trapdoor in the back room.
No, yes or no, man.
No, I didn't.
Zilda, did you know there was one there?
Yes.
Do it! Burn it!
Can I be inside the house at this point?
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. I need to fix that. There you go.
You told us to put him in there deliberately, didn't you?
Not exactly.
At this point, I'm going to send a message to the guys that aren't here. Just Ildar knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silda, I am very disappointed with you, and when we get back to sorting out this mess, you're next, okay? Can we just walk away? Can I just walk away slowly, shaking my head?
Sure. Cool.
Gaius, you're not going to understand, are you?
Don't wind him up.
I'm actually going to stab him in his kneecap.
Right, okay, I tell you what, I think that's probably an appropriate time, a moment, for us to draw a line under this week's session.
Oh, cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger and a knee stabber. So yeah, I mean, that was eventful.
Was it how you planned it to go, Paul?
Yes, exactly. I had it written down word for word.
Was it just nonsense?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't initially anticipate the whole Nipper thinking that he crushed Glassstaff to death in a barrel, and then Rook deciding to take on his visage to try and pretend to Sildar and co that they hadn't just murdered Glassstaff in cold blood, and then Gaius trying to persuade him to straight up murder Glassstaff /
Oh, that's my bad.
Murder.
I had the sending stones that I could have told him.
I feel like
I was like, you could tell me at this point that is Rook, or you could not. It's up to you.
I just
I
forgot.
critted on my persuasion.
yeah, I mean that was very funny. I mean, if you hadn't have had Nipper stood there going, no, I don't think you should, I think Sildar might have just straight up executed him there and then. So yeah, I mean, I feel like, on face value, this probably could have been settled in a lot more straightforward manner than you maybe did. I feel like, well, that escalated quickly might well be the motto of the group.
That circle of truth is awesome. We need to drag everyone there in the next hour and just get all the goths. Like,
let's have a look. A magical zone guards against deception in a 15-foot radius. Must make a charisma saving throw. So what's the saving throw against? Because it just says must make a charisma saving throw.
It'll be against your spell save DC.
And what is your spell save DC, out of curiosity?
That is a good question. How do I find out?
Normally, yeah, it'll probably be. Hang on.
I think it's 8 plus your proficiency plus whatever skill you use to magic.
Oh yeah, it's 13.
Charisma.
Lars, it's on your spell sheet. It tells you at the top, just above everything, next to the word charisma. It says spell save DC 13.
13.
Oh yeah.
Alright, cool. I mean, to be honest with you, Sildar rolled really sucky, so it didn't. At that point, I was like, well, it's going to be more than 4, so I reckon we're good.
Well, in my defence, I thought Glasslaugh had turned himself into the barrel.
Oh!
And then the door.
I mean, that is one step away from going, he's in the walls. It's, he is the walls, man!
Sorry, Paul, I didn't hear that, mate.
I was just saying, it's one step away from he's in the walls to he is the walls.
Well, that's where I was next going, if I'm honest.
Oh no, I've just realised Myrna ran off my crossbow again.
Get it?
I was worried that they might attack us and we use an extra pair of hands.
Well, apparently someone did.
That bitch.
She's going to run off into town and tell everyone what's happened in this room.
Yes, that's your main concern, that she's going to tell everyone what unbelievable shits you've been.
Well, we've got to save